When it matters most, KBC continues to serve the nation with responsibility and integrity. We have expanded local content and indigenous language programming, promoting culture, unity, and national cohesion. We are also embracing the future through digital transformation with online TV, radio streaming, and active social media platforms, bringing KBC closer to you anytime, anywhere. To our loyal viewers and listeners, we say, KBC, informing the nation, connecting Kenya.
Don't move!
This isn't over yet.
That's enough of you.
Let go of me! You deaf? I said let go! I'm telling you, I can destroy you with my phone.
Jason, come on, let go!
Just try. I put up with you for months.
Oh, well, we're so sorry.
That's not good enough! Look at my car, look at what he did!
So sorry.
What kind of hotel is this?
You're right.
You here to scam us? What do you think this is?
That's it!
All right.
Hurry up! Hurry up!
Send help!
Halo, habari ndugu. Unaongea na Joffrey hapa.
Habari Joffrey.
Mimi nakupigia kuhusu ile request yako ya kupata connection ya stima. Sisi tunaweza kufanyia deal, ulipe pesa kidogo tu na sisi tukuharakishie connection yako.
Utanisaidia sana bwana Joffrey.
Sisi tutafanya mambo iwe rahisi. Kwa kawaida utalipa 100,000 na utangojea siku mingi. Lakini ukitoa 20,000 saa hii, tunakuconnectia ukuwe na stima hata kesho.
Natuma saa hii.
We, hao matapeli wamekuja sana. Connection ya stima hufuata process. Hakuna shortcut. Shortcut ni ya wakora. Malipo yote ya Kenya Power hupitia channels rasmi peke yake.
We mzee, hizo ni gani unajaribu kunifanyia?
Tumekuja kuwashika, muda boss utamulikwa. Tumekuja kuwashika.
Economic Affairs Institute says that although SHA is operational, it is facing serious challenges that must be addressed urgently. And the big question on the minds of many Kenyans is how can government safeguard this system that has become very, very essential to many?
Plus, on the Starlet Wahu murder case, government pathologist testifies that blood samples of the late Starlet Wahu matches those found on the accused Matara. The courts continue to piece together that puzzle.
Well, every Tuesday we celebrate global cultures throughout the world, and here in Kenya we theme those days through attire. So today we are embracing the Indian wear, honoring one of the newest communities in Kenya.
Namaste.
Well, Swagat here, we want to welcome you to the Prime Edition tonight, and we begin with a look at our top stories.
If you come here with embarrassing records, we will embarrass you.
We know that this is a plan to try and intimidate Senate.
To one committee and certain members of that committee.
Governors, senators, supremacy battle.
Audit queries by the Senate County Public Accounts Committee disintegrates into bad blood between governors and senators. The biting drought.
Cabinet authorizes the release of 4.1 billion shillings in response to drought. Concerns on child safety.
Protests rock Kianjati in Mathira, Nyeri County, following the brutal killing of a 9-year-old child. Time to trade.
Nairobi Securities Exchange unveils CD app, allowing investors to trade using their mobile phones. Taking time to be with us.
Santuku, talk to us on all our social media platforms at KBC Channel 1.
Our lead story now, and tonight the war of words between governors and senators deepen as senators continue their onslaught on governors, accusing the county heads of employing tactics to avoid accountability.
Senate County Public Accounts Committee Chair Moses Kajwang and the County Public Investment Committee Chair Godfrey Ososi, in an interview with KBC, warned the governors who opt to snub Senate summons they will be surcharged, fined and funding halted.
Abdiaziz opens our coverage with the details of that tussle.
Entity. If you come here with embarrassing records, we will embarrass you. If you come here with embarrassing responses, we'll embarrass you. If your audit reports are an embarrassment indicative of theft, we will not bembeleza you.
We know that this is a plan to try and intimidate Senate from performing its role, and we will not be intimidated.
We narrow down our issues to one committee and certain members of that committee.
The spat between senators and governors deepened on Tuesday.
So the ones who have a problem with the Senate also have a problem with management of financial resources, and by extension they have a problem with the people.
And in any case, the chair of COG has been giving us problems, and yet we hear that he wants to become a senator in 2027. How will he become a senator when he's scandalizing Senate?
Senate's own standing orders require that if certain people are mentioned, they step aside from that committee.
With senators maintaining they will not back down.
We are proposing DORA for 26-27 financial year of 534 billion Kenya shillings.
We will tell the Treasury to stop transfer of funds to those counties. If some governors choose not to appear and choose to run away from accountability.
Speaking to KBC Channel 1, Senate County Public Accounts Committee Chair Moses Kajwang and the County Public Investment Committee Chair Godfrey Ososi faulted the governors and dismissed their claims that senators were guilty of extortion and intimidation.
And if they have any allegations of extortion, harassment, there are proper channels through which those can be done. And we challenge them to use those channels. But otherwise, these are just sideshows.
And whatever evidence governors have, governors will table to him and to his leadership.
Those governors who will not come to our meetings, we will surcharge them for the expenses of the meeting. We will also fine them.
Despite the Council of Governors' resolution to ignore Senate summons, Narok Governor Patrick Ole Ntutu and Kitui Governor Julius Malombe honored Senate summons. The decision by Muranga Governor Irungu Kangata to snub summons appeared to irk the committee.
And if he still fails to appear, then we shall engage the Inspector General of Police.
The standoff has since piqued the interest of the Senate Speaker, Amason Jaffa Kingi, who warned the Senate will not be cowed from playing its oversight role.
But the chair of the Council of Governors is requesting that we give him an earlier date. He's not asking not to come. He's asking to be given an earlier date and misleading the other governors not to come.
You know, I'm a pastoralist. Where I come from, we die of all manner of things, even including stray bullets. So it doesn't help to threaten me with jail and stuff like that. No.
The CPAC chair, Moses Kajwang, has directed the Inspector General of Police, Douglas Kanja, to appear before the committee on Thursday to expound as to how and why he has not produced some of the governors who have failed to appear before the State Committee. Abdiaziz Hashim from Parliament Buildings, Prime Edition.
The Cabinet has authorized the release of 4.1 billion shillings in response to droughts, especially in northern counties.
When Mandera, Wajir, Kwale and Kilifi counties have been categorized in an alarm phase.
The Cabinet says 3.3 million people are facing acute food shortage due to the failure of the October-December short trains.
Give us on Maina reports.
Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for this morning.
The cabinet sitting on Tuesday, chaired by President William Ruto, said drought conditions have deteriorated rapidly since January 2026. An estimated 3.3 million people, the cabinet says, are currently facing acute food insecurity and could further rise to 3.6 million by June 2026 if urgent intervention is not taken. Mandera, Wajir, Kwale and Kilifi counties have been listed on the alarm phase, while 12 counties are in the alert phase, most of them on a worsening trajectory. Over 810,000 children and 104,000 expectant and lactating women are facing acute malnutrition.
We have the whole of this year.
The cabinet says the additional funding supplements allocations made in December 2025 and January 2026, which supported relief food, logistics, and limited non-food assistance. The cabinet also raising concern over deteriorating livestock conditions, increased livestock deaths and distress sales, rising human-wildlife conflict, and the risk of escalation into an emergency. Give us Maina, Prime Edition.
It's rocked Kianjathi, that's in Mathira, Nyeri County, for the better part of the day as irate residents protested the brutal killing of a 9-year-old child.
The minor reportedly went missing on Saturday last week before her body was found dumped in a pit lane.
John Kahiro with the details of this disturbing story.
Anger, shock and grief. A dark cloud of sorrow hangs over the Kianjathi area in Mathira constituency, Nyeri County. Is yet to comprehend what transpired, leading to the brutal murder of the 9-year-old girl.
We are not going to allow. We need
Residents say the girl, identified as Chantel Waruguru, disappeared on Saturday last week, and a week-long search ended in tragedy.
Tuko na makasiliko. Tunashindwa kwani watoto tutapeleka wapi? Sasa hii ni Shantaro, tulikuwa na mwingine. Sasa tunashindwa kwani nyinyi wanaume tutapeleka wasichana wapi? Hatutazaa wasichana. Tukizaa wasichana tunakuwa na duru.
According to the residents who are now demanding justice, the suspect in her murder was a close relative.
Tumekuta amekatakatwa nini ya unyama, alikuwa amekatwa kiunyama sana. So tunaomba serikali, hii mambo imeanza kufanyika sana, so waangalia mambo na watupatie security.
Overwhelmed by grief, the residents ferried Chantel's accusing the police of inaction.
This morning, we managed to retrieve the body from the toilet of the suspect, a newly built toilet, which is about 20 feet down.
Her body was later taken to PGH Nyeri Referral Hospital mortuary pending an autopsy. Chantel's death comes barely months after a 10-year-old girl was also gruesomely killed in Nyeri town, raising concerns on child safety. In a statement, the Directorate of Criminal Investigation say they have arrested the suspect identified as Peter Njuguna in connection with the murder.
Such incidences, they are sometimes very, very difficult to prevent because they involve relatives. Who knew an Anango can do this to his own child? Nobody who came from outside that homestead.
John Kahiro for Prime Edition.
Now, the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, fans from across the country a rare opportunity to move around radio stations at Broadcasting House as part of a series of the week-long activities to mark the World Radio Day.
During the tour, they witnessed live production and interacted with their favorite radio presenters and legends.
Well, they also got to know more about how studio-like radio equipment and also operations have evolved over the years.
Nancy Okware compiled this report.
A tent has been set aside, showcasing the evolution of radio. Equipment used back in the days, such as the shellac records, popularly known as the Santuri, is on display. These letters, addressed to presenters and producers, were used back then to convey greetings before the invention of phones.
The status of the economy.
Inside the studios, the presenters wore African attire in line with the day's theme. Fans and students from various institutions were treated to first-hand experience of what goes on behind the scenes.
Sisi tunapiga simu kwa saa hii, hiyo wakati kulikuwa kuna tumwa barua, hiyo ni kitu imenifurahisha sana.
Nimerudisha shukrani sana kwa KBC kwa wakati huu wametupatia kama mashabiki, tukuje tujionee mambo yenye wao wenye huaga wanafanya.
Nilikuwa tunasikia wa Maroki, nilikuwa nasikia KK, tukua tunaonana live, lakini leo nimewaona live.
My experience was so good because what you're taught in school, it's what exactly we found, what it's being conducted here at KBC.
We have visited Minto, where the lady has been so encouraging. She has made me be enlightened in what I want to pursue because I want to be a radio presenter.
The fans also had an opportunity to convey their greetings.
Karaja wafu de kule muruka, MC wa Mbutemani, mwagi wa pick up wa Gatonyo.
Tuliweza kutuma salamu kwa mmoja wa wasikilizaji, tulipewa fursa hiyo na natumai kwamba tulisikika.
The activities are set to continue until Friday when the World Radio Day will be marked.
Try to edit your news, isije kama mambo ya uchochezi. Na kama ni muziki, chuje ule muziki, manake mambo mengi watu wanajifunza through music, na labda watoto wanakopi hivyo. The smiles on the faces of the fans who visited the various radio studios is a clear indication of just how much joy radio continues to bring to the masses. Nancy Okware, reporting from KBC Radio Taifa Studios, Nairobi.
Well, that story brings us to our first break. Just to remind you that week-long celebration is going to climax this Friday, the 13th, where we will be having the Sundowner program that, of course, is aired both on the television platform as well as the radio platform, being hosted by Catherine Donye. And I do remember my friend John Obongo Jr., the legendary John Obongo Jr., being among the pioneer presenters on that wonderful show.
Just to mention a few other presenters who bring us beautiful voices on radio under KBC stations. Bernard Maranga, we also have Cynthia Anyango, we have Julia Wanjiku, we have Misusu Alfi Ingo FM, and also George Waka and Isaac Klemoka.
Just to mention a few, it's 14 minutes past the top of the hour. Coming up on Prime Edition.
Illicit brew protest and much more.
Stay with us, we'll be back.
Hello, nani mwenzangu?
Yes, hello. Jambo kiongozi. Unaongea na Simon na tumeona hii shamba yako iko na nafasi nzuri sana ya kuwekelea transformer. Na sisi tuko tayari kukupea 3 million Kenya shillings kama leasing fee.
3 million? Sio ni dili nzuri sana. Na hii mama inenangaje?
Utatupatia 10% ya hiyo 3 million kwa rakichi installation ndio ulipwe haraka.
Hapana bana, hiyo pesa ni mingi bana.
Tunaweza anza na 100k, hiyo isikupatia wasiwasi.
Unaweza ituma wapi?
Kumbe hao matapeli wamekumark na wamepiga hesabu vile watakuingiza box. Red flag ya kwanza. Kenya Power hailipi mtu yoyote kuli space ili kuweka transformers kwa shamba. Hakuna mtu anafaa kupigia for any deals na hakuna deals za kando kando.
Kwanza nakata hii simu na naripoti sasa.
Tumekuja kuwashika, boda boss utamulikwa, tumekuja kuwashika.
Tumaini hawezi mkubali mtoto asiyekuwa wake, na ndio maana nakuhitaji.
Hapo awali mimi nilimjua mke wangu, lakini nimempoteza.
Mimi sitaki chochote kutoka kwa baba yako. Wasikia? Na kama wataka wakili wangu mwandikie wakili wako, atafanya hivyo.
Niondokea utashanga sasa hivi. Hii si nyumba yako, usije kunifukuza.
Sasa nini? Tinga.
Welcome back to Prime Edition, our socials.
At KBC Channel 1 on X, Facebook and YouTube.
Our first story in the second part of this live bulletin, the Sustainability of Social Health Authority is facing serious gaps in financing, which risk undermining the National Health Insurance Body.
Speaking in Nairobi on Tuesday, the Institute of Economic Affairs and Programs Coordinator John Muchuma said while SHA is operational, the system is facing structural and operational challenges that must be urgently addressed.
Joseph Wahungu is the one who put that story in perspective.
Nearly 500 days since the Social Health Authority came into effect on October 1st, 2024, questions persist over its sustainability, equity and governance. Addressing the BD in Nairobi, IEA Kenya Programs Coordinator John Mutua revealed that inadequate funding remains the biggest challenge in SHA implementation.
I mean, no doubt SHA is working, but what we can see, given the challenges that undermine its effectiveness, it is not working as desired or as intended.
IAA is now proposing innovative financing mechanisms, including earmarked taxes from products like tobacco and alcohol to boost health funding. The Institute further raised concerns about claims management and fraud.
But also the action on those that have been caught, whether it's government officials, facility officials, whether it's SHA officials who collide with some of those officers. They need to act on those cases in order to reduce the cases of fraud.
Data presented at the briefing shows that between January and October 2025, SHA collected an average of 6.5 billion shillings per month against a projected requirement of 8.3 billion shillings.
It means the fund is not receiving the adequate or the projected revenue that it requires in order to provide services.
The think tank is also calling for continuous public sensitization, flexible contribution options, and stronger institutional capacity, including hiring specialized actuarial experts to boost SHA efficiency.
As pressure mounts on the government to address governance gaps and allegations of fraud, the future of the Social Health Authority now hinges on reforms and public trust. Reporting for Prime Edition from Nairobi, my name is Joseph Wahungu.
Nairobi and Beijing have forged an agreement to advance and promote people-to-people and cultural exchanges to strengthen friendship between the two nations for a shared future.
Chinese ambassador to Kenya, Guo Haiyan, who cited the 2025 culture and tourism season, pledged that her country will continue collaborating with Kenya on initiatives aimed at helping the country to achieve its development dream.
Opicho Chemtai compiled this report.
This week marked a series of events to commemorate the beginning of the Chinese New Year, the Year of the Horse, with celebrations in Nairobi coinciding with the conclusion of the 2025 China-Kenya Culture and Tourism Season. According to Chinese ambassador to Kenya, Guo Haiyan, who spoke in Nairobi, the initiative has enhanced relations between Nairobi and Beijing for the benefit of the people.
Over the past 6 months, a wide range of dynamic activities have been held, including the opening ceremony of the season, live coverage of wild beast migration, the China Animated Film Festival, the Kenya Wushu or Martial Art National Championship, the Africa Championship of Chinese Cuisine, and China-Kenya Friendship Games.
The envoy further announced that China will continue to implement a new philosophy of friendship and shared prosperity in the spirit of the Spring Festival.
The core essence, the connotation never change. It is for family reunion, for blessing, for the brighter future.
Culture Principal Secretary Umi Bashir, who attended the event, commended the relationship between Kenya and China, stating that the two countries have cultivated robust cultural partnerships that extend across many sectors.
We've had several exchange programs of artists and cultural artists who have gone for trainings and exchange programs to China. So that is a big win for us as a country.
The Spring Festival, which originated in China, has gained popularity worldwide, with Nairobi staging similar celebrations. Opito Chemtai for Prime Edition.
In the corridors of justice, the murder case of the late Starlet Wahu, you remember, who died in January of 2024, continued Tuesday with government pathologist Emily Oworo and the arresting officer Pores Arwa testifying.
Oworo told the court the samples collected from inside the apartment in South B were the late Wahu's was found lying in a pool of blood matched those found on Matara.
And Matara had told the court that he was involved, in fact, in a scuffle with the late Wahu, but denied killing her.
Our court reporter Ruth Mboya has details of the testimonies.
Government pathologist Emily Oworo became the 13th witness to testify in the prosecution case in which John Matara Ongo is facing murder charges. Ongo followed the proceedings from the dock as the government pathologist, who appeared before Justice Alexander Muteti virtually, told the court that blood and semen samples collected from her clothes and towels found in the South B apartment matched those of the accused.
Blood stains on the knife, item E, the denim shirt, item F1, generated a mixed DNA profile.
The court also had the semen samples showed a mixed DNA profile matching the DNA sample of Wahu.
The DNA profile generated from the buccal swab sample marked I. John Matara Ongwa.
During cross-examination, the defense put Oworo to task to confirm if there was a likelihood of a third party involved, as the bloodstains found in one of the collected swabs outside the gate did not generate a DNA profile.
There was a specimen of another third person, probably where there was no any other sample collected from him.
It may not be right to conclude that way, because this sample did not generate a profile, and so we are not in a position to tell.
Whatever I'm going to say before this court.
The arresting officer Pores Arwa was the next to testify as the 14th witness, where he told the court that Matara was arrested at Mbagathi Hospital, where he had gone for a medical check.
And further booked the clothes as exhibits, word OB number 06/4/1 of 2024. And I wish to lay the inventory before the court.
Arwa further told the court they interrogated Matara after he received treatment on the nature of his relationship with the late Wahu before they collected exhibits. The defense, in cross-examining Arwa, sought answers on who opened the door of the apartment in which Wahu was found lying in a pool of blood. The hearing continues Wednesday. With exhibits collected inside the Papino apartment in the room where Starlet Wahu and John Matara spent the night, blood samples matching, the question now lingers: whose blood sample that was collected outside the Papino apartment? Ruth Wamboy reporting from Milimani's High Court.
Don't move! This isn't over yet. That's enough of you. Let go of me! You deaf? I said let go! I'm telling you, I can destroy you with my phone.
Jason, come on! Let go!
Just try.
I put up with you for months.
Oh, well, we're so sorry. That's not good enough! Look at my car! Look at what he did!
So sorry.
What kind of hotel is this?
You're right.
You here to scam us? What do you think this is?
That's enough!
All right, hurry up!
Send help!
utajitetea ama bado uko na ule
woza kama kawa. Ako heri atakuja tusaidie kuna wakili.
Wewe si mkoti. Sorry. Pow. Is he your boyfriend?
No.
Thank you very much. Were you there?
Where?
To that scene when that scene was going on. Unaongeza nini? Kwa hivyo hujamaliza masomo?
Masomo si mimi nilimaliza ndio nafanya kazi kama
library.
library.
Just agree with me, please. Hujamaliza. Are we together?
We are not together.
We are together. Don't usipishane na mimi. Are we together? Ulipeana kwa nini ulimpatia?
Halo, habari ndugu. Unaongea na Geoffrey hapa.
Habari Geoffrey.
Mimi nakupigia.
Welcome back to Prime Edition.
Our socials at KBC Channel 1 on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Tom, take us to the lakeside.
Oh yes, well, certainly yes. The Kenya Union of Clinical Officers is calling for a constitutional review to create a centralized health workers management body.
The clinicians argue this will reduce industrial unrest in the sector.
Now, according to the Secretary General George Gobore, services continue to be disrupted across the country due to salary delays, lack of remittances of statutory deductions, and also promotions.
Achola Simon reports.
The union officials fear repeated industrial unrest in the health sector is harming service delivery, calling for constitutional review to form a centralized body to manage human resources in the health sector,
so that we can have uniformity in the way we address issues. And we learned this very well when we had COVID-19, that we had to centralize the management of all the health facilities in the country and the human resource for us to have a way forward and to address the issues of COVID-19.
The officials faulted some counties, particularly those they say were serving their second term, of blatantly declining to either salaries or statutory deduction on time.
We still lose people. We still have people who have been denied key essential services by virtue of people being on strike. And we have a don't care governors, some of them who feel that they are untouchable because they are doing their second term in office.
They singled out Nairobi and Marsabit counties as most affected, arguing clinicians had stagnated in one job group for years.
Like Marsabit for more than 10 years now, clinicians have not seen any promotion, and they are feeling that they have reached a point of no return.
They were speaking during the signing of a working agreement with the Ramogi Oginga Odinga Teaching and Referral Hospital in Kisumu County to unionize its workers. Achola Simon, Prime Edition, Kisumu County.
We have started a marriage, a marriage of convenience.
Let's now take you to the counties. Governor Wavinya Ndeti has presided over the pass-out ceremony of the second cohort of the Machakos Youth Service, marking a major milestone in the county's youth empowerment agenda.
Now, in Migori, concerns have been raised over the rising cases of teenage pregnancies, and its impact on the life of the girl child within that region.
This and other stories in our county's news roundup.
The Machakos Empowerment Program admitted 1,700 young people from all 40 wards this year, building on the success of the first cohort.
Today is not just a ceremony. It is a launch pad. For too long, the narrative about our youth has been one of potential, but potential without a platform that is just a dream.
And in Narok County, residents of Olesimu village in Narok East are calling for intervention following a dispute brewing within the Seventh-day Adventist Church, which has caused hostility among faithfuls.
Mtu mmoja hatakuwa na uwezo ya kuzuia mradi hii. Naomba tu ingiliwe kwa heshima, kwa sababu hiyo tunasema kuna hii sio shamba ya mtu. Hii ni mahali tumepeana, tumetenga, na tena ipate kusaidia watu wa eneo hili.
Also in Nairobi County, a 14-year-old Kwanta Anyango A grade 10 learner from Kisumu has been admitted to St. George Secondary School after receiving support from Good Samaritan, who have also called on government to make education more affordable.
Ilikuwa so sad ukikuja kusikia tu nakwambia tu kitu wako nao ni box. Ana anything. Sasa ndio tukakuwa tu tuko touch sana. Tukalipa school fees yote.
And the Public Procurement Regulatory Authority PPRA has described the low uptake of the electronic government procurement EGP system by county governments.
EGP platform addresses corruption in many ways, right from the planning stage of procurement needs.
Meanwhile, in Nyandarua County, learners at Njonjoro Primary School in Darago constituency have received major relief following the construction of 2 new classrooms, easing years of congestion and unsafe learning conditions.
Whatever we are doing with these institutions, it will go far as far as the kids are concerned, because one, they enjoy learning in a very conducive environment.
We have just handed over 2 classrooms that were built and completed by Mabati Rolling Mills in collaboration with the support of our foundation, the Safa Lemarem Foundation.
In Migori County, rising teenage pregnancy continue to disrupt the education of the girl child, placing the region among areas of growing concern.
The teachers, the board members, the principal, they used to walk around the community to be able to find these women who are married early, and they brought them here so that they can study.
Finally, the Kenya National Union of Teachers NAT has concluded its branch election in Mandera, with Hussein Hassan elected as the new executive secretary of the NAT Mandera branch.
In CBA, we always talk about our teachers. We improve your welfare, and that is the core mandate of the teacher union, to ensure that we improve the condition and the service of our members.
Reporting for Prime Edition, I'm Aaron Marie.
It's a good evening to you. Thank you very much for joining us. Time now for Business News. My name is O'Brien Kimani. The government plans to spend 4.7 trillion shillings in the financial year 2026-2027, according to a new estimate approved by the Cabinet on Tuesday. According to the Cabinet dispatch, the recurrent expenditure will absorb the lion's share at 3.5 trillion shillings, with development vote standing at 750 billion shillings. Counties will receive a total of 496 billion shillings to run their affairs, according to the Cabinet brief.
7 trillion shillings. The 2026-2027 budget is 0.4% more than the current budget of 4.29 trillion shillings presented by National Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Badi in June last year. The government projects total revenues of 3.53 trillion shillings against planned expenditure of 4.7 trillion shillings, leaving more than 1.2 trillion shillings to be financed through borrowing and funding by development partners. A cabinet brief shows that recurrent expenditure accounts for the largest share at 3.46 trillion shillings, while 749.5 billion shillings has been allocated to develop roads, houses, bridges and other government projects. County governments will receive 495.7 billion shillings, including equitable share and additional allocations, while 2 billion shillings have been set aside for the contingency fund. The Cabinet has approved the budget policy statement for 2026, which outlines priority spending areas including education, health, infrastructure, agriculture, energy, alongside reforms in public finance management, digitization and reforming state-owned enterprises. The government projects an economic growth of 5.3% in 2026, citing improved agricultural output and ongoing policy reforms, although risks remain from climate shocks, debt servicing costs and global economic uncertainty. The budget proposals will now be tabled in Parliament, where lawmakers are expected to interrogate spending priorities and borrowing plans. Trevor Ngendo for Prime Edition.
Well, you know for sure, those estimates are now headed to the National Assembly, where they are going to be discussed And of course, we'll have the budget reading sometimes in June this year. And of course, as KBC, we shall be here to break down the figures for you and help you understand what the YOR stands for. Let's move on. You can now buy or sell shares of companies listed on the Nairobi Securities Exchange on your smartphone following the launch of the ZD Trader domiciled on the M-Pesa platform. President William Ruto says the innovations are key in revolutionizing how ordinary Kenyans create wealth through the capital markets.
Exchange has more than doubled from 1.2 trillion shillings in 2022 to over 3 trillion shillings currently. Trading in equities is mainly dominated by institutional and foreign investors who account for more than 65% of total trading. And now Kenya is deepening trading by involving individuals who will henceforth have the shares listed on the Nairobi Securities Exchange on the M-Pesa platform.
GD Trader is a clear signal that Kenya's financial ecosystem has evolved, placing wealth creation within reach of millions. Trading on the NSE will no longer be reserved for a few. As I said, we are opening the doors to millions of retail investors.
Expanding the group of people who have the ability to invest is central to realizing the full potential or power of our capital markets. It means, one, that capital will be available for those who are seeking it, and also it means that people who will be able to share.
The platform has been on pilot, during which the results were very impressive. However, there were questions about the state of stockbrokers, if CDS accounts are still required, and if those buying shares on ZD Trader will be in the shareholder register of companies they invest in.
It is important for us to find a mechanism where citizens, from the comfort of their phones, they can be able to buy shares and trade at the capital markets.
The lower income citizens who are more impacted by high costs of trading. And the discussion we had also identified, for example, that we could look at maybe saying trades below from 10,000 shillings and below could be one of the areas that we tackle.
The launch of ZD Trader is expected to deepen Kenya's pursuit of raising cash locally to finance government programs, as well as to eliminate the reliance on foreign loans or increasing taxes.
At least from the public sector, we have a plan on how we will bring into the market more companies so that we can raise more resources for our own development, but also
President Ruto said the government is reforming the capital markets as a central pillar for mobilizing the 5 trillion shillings national transformation plan.
About the way we live, it's about language. It can also be about dressing. Here at the official launch of the ZD Trader, the word ZD in Swahili means excess in the Swahili language. Alan Aoko, Prime Edition.
Many thanks, Alan Aoko there, with that report on how Kenya is democratizing the trading on capital markets. The Central Bank of Kenya has lowered its benchmark lending rate in a move aimed at stimulating economic activity and boosting private sector credit. The Monetary Policy Committee cut the central bank rate by 25 basis points to 8.75%, citing easing inflation, improving credit growth, and a stable macroeconomic environment. The decision comes ahead of Wednesday's MPC briefing, with the regulator signaling continued support for growth while keeping inflation firmly anchored.
The latest policy rate cut extends to a rate easing cycle that began in October 2025 as the Central Bank of Kenya seeks to lower borrowing costs and stimulate private sector activity. The regulator says inflation remains well contained, easing to 4.4% in January, supported by lower food prices and stable energy costs. Economic growth has remained resilient, with the economy expanding by 4.9% in the third quarter of 2025, driven by a recovery in industry and steady performance in the services sector. The central bank has also adjusted its policy framework to improve how rate cuts are passed on to borrowers, narrowing the interest rate corridor around the policy rate. This is expected to strengthen the transmission of monetary policy to lending rates. The central bank says the rate cut will support lending and economic activity while keeping inflation and the exchange rate stable, with the next policy decision expected in April. Nduta Mokami for Prime Edition.
Traders are concerned about the cost of credit that they say is too high for micro, small and medium enterprises. This emerged during in Kisumu during a public participation forum on the National Trade Development Bill of 2025 that businesses further called for harmonization of business licenses and fees, as Wycliffe Okech narrates.
The National Trade Development Bill of 2025 seeks to consolidate and align trade laws to the country's development framework. This includes streamlining and harmonizing licenses and permits to create an enabling environment for businesses.
Traders have been having problems of trans-county trade, and also people who are transporting goods from, let's say, Busia to Mombasa have to keep on paying licenses at every county they go through, and that is very destructive to the industry.
The bill proposes to introduce the National Trade Council and National Trade Development Academy to enhance intergovernmental coordination and build the capacity of budding entrepreneurs.
We know that there's a trade development policy which was developed in 2017, but we also realized that there are gaps and there's a lack of enforcement because we do not have a legal provision.
Businesses are also concerned about the cost of credit.
We really need the national government in terms of quality, credit, and also in development of infrastructure that are suitable for the traders across the board.
The issue of contrabands emerged, with business operators saying the imported products offer unfair competition.
There is a provision on that bill that will address that.
Reporting for Channel 1 from Kisumu County, I am Wycliffe Okech.
Many thanks, Wycliffe Okech in Kisumu County. Child online safety solutions leveraging artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, Internet of Things, e-health and digital identity have been integrated into the regulatory sandbox as part of efforts by the Communications Authority of Kenya to step up the fight against the vice. Communications Authority of Kenya Consumer Education and Employment Assistant Director Caroline Murianki says the artificial intelligence tools are more effective in identifying grooming patterns, cyberbullying and exploitative behavior when compared to relying on user complaints.
As Kenya accelerates its digital transformation, children are increasingly exposed to rising online risks, including cyberbullying, exploitation and exposure to harmful content.
Spearheaded by the Ministry of Communications and the Digital Economy. Once this policy is in place, various actors in the AI ecosystem, including the authority, will be positioned to develop the requisite industry guidelines. In the interim, ladies and gentlemen, the authority has a regulatory sandbox.
The regulatory sandbox allows innovators to test and shape new technologies in a controlled, supervised environment before they are widely deployed. Murianki says the tools tested in the sandbox can help secure platforms commonly used by minors, embed child safety default settings, and strengthen parental control mechanisms, which is a shift from reactive reporting to proactive protection.
When organizations handle data responsibly and individuals stay aware, we build a stronger and safer online environment for everyone.
The inclusion of artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and Internet of Things in the regulatory sandbox testing will allow the Communications Authority of Kenya to scrutinize how such devices collect, store, and transmit children's data.
If you click the three dots in all the applications, there is normally a reporting, it will direct you to a reporting portal.
One thing is clear, minors are getting more tech savvy, and as such, guardians as well as the regulator is insisting that there has to be checks and balance to ensure that the online space meets its objective as being an equalizer when it comes to capacity building and opportunities, thus making it a safe space for minors. I'm Regina Manyara reporting for KBC Channel 1.
Well, and that report by Regina Manyara brings us to the end of business for tonight. For more information, always you can log on to our website, which is www.kbc.co.ke. And of course, my name is O'Brien Kimani. You can follow me up on my X handle at O'Brien Kimani at KBC Channel 1. Remember, sports news is coming up next. Stay right here. Bye for now.
Halo, habari ndugu. Unaongea na Joffrey hapa.
Habari Joffrey.
Mimi nakupigia kuhusu ile request yako ya kupata connection ya stima. Sisi tunaweza kufanyia deal, ulipe pesa kidogo tu.
When the deal is too good, think twice.
Lakini kitu moja inanitangaza na wewe. Hii ni kuhatarisha maisha yenu nyinyi wenyewe na pia ya wale mnaenda kutokea kwa manyumba zao.
We are diving into the mind. Stay vigilant to get safely and legally connected to the power grid.
Koti hii imewapata na hatia na mkiwa mpuridhika na uamuzi wa koti, mko na siku 14 za kurudisha apili.
Shortcut ni ya wakora. Malipo yote ya Kenya Power hupitia channels rasmi peke yake.
We mzee, hizo ni gani unajaribu kutufanyia?
Tumekuja kuwashika, muda bosu tamulikwa, tumekuja kuwashika.
Halo, halo, nimekuja na tangazo.
Hapo staki kusikia. Hii ni moto.
This is how we do it, yeah. Chill, lay back, straight, stand, yeah, we do it like that.
Zaki moto.
Do.
This party is Zaki moto.
Hello, Friday. Baby, you've got a long time, you just made me.
Live fura.
Glad to have you on board. Indeed, it is time for the latest from the sports desk with me, Bernardo Kumu. The Ministry of Sports has issued a stern warning to sports federations engaged in internal wrangles, saying the government will crack the whip to ensure good governance. This was reiterated by the Principal Secretary in the State Department of Sports, Elijah Mwangi, during the sponsorship unveiling of the WRC Safari Rally Kenya by Kenya Commercial Bank at KCC here in Nairobi. KCB has set aside 227 million shillings for this event, as Sean Muya reports.
KCB Bank is marking its 6th consecutive year of sponsorship for the WRC Safari Rally Kenya, with 100 million shillings going directly to the rally, while 28.5 million shillings will be spent on its 5th member team, which has a regional outlook for the first time. KCB Group Chief Executive Officer Paul Russo reiterated the commitment to empowering youth and supporting sports development in order to raise sporting standards across the region, while also calling on the revival of the local championship, the KNRC.
We'll continue to be here, we'll continue to raise our voice on what needs to be done, to be fixed, and we'll continue to push Maina Muturi and everybody else. Rally Championship.
Sports PS Elijah Mwangi also called on sports federations to put their houses in order, noting that the government support and funding will be tied to proper management and compliance with the laid down regulations.
Quite a number of them may be briefcase, but we have who are just registered so that they can benefit. Over time, we have been cracking whips. Transparency, there's accountability, there's good governance.
Chief Executive Officer Charles Gasheru promised an even more exciting spectacle for fans, with the drivers looking forward to provide the thrills and spills.
We really need to take motorsport back to where it was, the glory days. And we all know there has been some issues within the federations that need to be sorted out.
Sean Muya for Prime Edition.
Moving on, the National Olympic Committee of Kenya has signed a memorandum of understanding with Koitalel Samoei University College to establish an Olympic Africa Center at their grounds in Nandi County. The center will be used to nurture young talent and promote community development through sports.
The agreement between NOC and Koitalel University College is expected to provide structured pathways for nurturing talent by establishing suitable sports facilities within the institution, while also offering professional training and competitive opportunities for emerging athletes. NOC President Shedrack Maluki said the partnership reflects a shared vision of empowering young Kenyans through sports, positioning it as a tool for social development, community engagement, and value-based education.
It is also in line with our goals and objectives as NOC Kenya in promoting the sports in our beloved nation. We know that Kenya doesn't lack talent, but we need to ensure that we grow the talent, even promote it further.
Koitalel University College Principal Winston Akala welcomed the partnership, noting that the institution has committed to becoming a center for sports science to support athlete development and train sports medicine doctors.
Let NOC and Koitalel work together to grow Koitalel to be the center of excellence in sports science in this country, because that is where we are.
The college plans to establish a modern sports facility that will include a doping control unit, athlete training centers, and spaces that can support sports tourism. The facility will also be open to the surrounding community, with established athletes already expected to utilize the infrastructure as part of efforts to grow sports at the grassroots and elite levels. Sean Muya for Prime Edition.
A good report there from Sean Muya. Moving on, the president of the Alliance of Independent Recognized Members of Sport Aims, Steve Fox, has called on Kenya and other African nations to establish structured programs for retired sportsmen and women aimed at prioritizing their health and well-being. He was speaking during the ongoing Open Masters Games in Abu Dhabi, where Singapore's Teo Terence claimed gold in the men's 35 years of age and above in Muay Thai category.
The inaugural Open Masters Games Abu Dhabi, graced by participants from 90 countries, entered day 4. Key highlight of the day was the Muay Thai event, which saw Singapore's Terence Teo clinch a gold medal in the 35-plus age category. Mehmet Selit of Turkey settled for silver after a spirited run to the final, while Shaikh Azharuddin of India and Kasim Sebowa of Uganda shared the bronze medals following closely contested bouts.
And gold medalist is Blue Color.
I used to be very big, so because of Muay Thai, I lost 16 kg. Yes, and then I got in love with the sport, and then I continued and started fighting.
Meanwhile, Stephen Fox, the president of the Alliance of Independent Recognized Members of Sport, has urged Kenya and other African nations to initiate programs to support retired sportsmen and women.
There's still too much more work to do in Africa, and we as the international federations, we have to work very, very hard to ensure that we give the youth of Africa's opportunities to shine on the world stage.
The clarion call that has been made towards the hosting of the traditional Emirati Games is the instilling of cultural values to future generations and the preservation of cultural legacy. Reporting for KBC Channel 1 from Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates, my name is Frederick Moki.
And good job, Moki from Abu Dhabi. And Kenya's Executive Protection Unit continued to impress at the 2026 United Arab Emirates SWAT Challenge in Dubai. Now, during today's Tower Assault event, the team executed a precision shooting, tower ascents and obstacle runs with speed and discipline to clock 3 minutes at 59.13 seconds. The team was among the top 20 teams, beating Renia of Albania, who clocked 4 minutes 18.22 seconds, and the BDS Skopje of Moldova, who clocked 5 minutes 25.81 seconds.
Your screen, that's all. So you can find it there.
And to soccer now, where the national under-20 women's team, the Rising Starlets, have arrived in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, ahead of their crucial FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup qualifier return leg against Tanzania at the Chamazi Complex this Saturday. The Kenyan side boosted their chances of progressing with a 1-0 victory in the first leg in Nairobi last weekend. Head coach Jacqueline Juma admitted her team missed several scoring opportunities in that match, but expressed confidence in the ability to be more clinical in front of goal in the return leg. The aggregate winner will advance to the final round of the qualifiers, where they might meet Cameroon, who hammered Botswana 5-0 in the first leg. Rising Stars are hoping to emulate the under-17 women's team who qualified for the global tournament in 2024. The FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup will be staged in Poland next year from the 5th to 27th of September. And the upcoming HSBC Sevens Rugby Tournament has received a major boost from Safaricom, who have committed 10 million shillings to support the event scheduled to take place this weekend at Nyayo National Stadium. Safaricom, through its M-Pesa brand, will kit the media center as well as offer communication and internet support during the two-day tournament. They are also the official sponsors of the national sevens team Shujaa and Lionesses, who will be taking part in the tournament. Elsewhere in golf, Kenya Airways has announced its long-term partnership with the 2026 Magical Kenya Open as part of the airline's efforts to promote sports tourism in Africa and showcase Kenya as a premier golfing destination. Kenya Airways will be the official airline partner of the 2026 Magical Kenya Open, a DP World Tour event that will take next week from the 19th to 22nd of February at the Current Country Club here in the capital.
Okay. Safaricom, through its M-Pesa brand, will kit the media center as well as offer communication and internet support during the two-day tournament. They are also the official sponsors of the national sevens, a team Shujaa and Lionesses, who will be taking part in the tournament.
This is a deliberate action, to support sports development, especially golf sports development in Kenya. And we do that through various ways, and we've got our own 4 players.
Elsewhere in golf, Kenya Airways has announced its long-term partnership with the 2026 Magical Kenya Open as part of the airline's effort to promote sports tourism in Africa and showcase Kenya as a premier golf destination. Kenya Airways will be the official airline partner of the 2026 Magical Kenya Open, a DP World Tour event that will take place next week from the 19th to 22nd of February at the Current Country Club in Nairobi.
Well, and that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Bernardo Kumu. I'll get you back to Tom and Muchuma for the bring today's edition to a cup.
Thank you. Oh, Coach, it's always great to see. I think we've got to go now, but do you want to just read out some acknowledgments from our viewers?
Yeah, quick acknowledgments was sent Joseph watching KBC Channel 1 from Nairobi, Prince Samuel watching from Kisii, Geoffrey Award watching from Kisumu, and Rashid Wamkondo, one of our colleagues, is a presenter for Zingala Subuhi, the show on Radio Taifa. Is wishing you all a happy Radio Week. Tom?
Well, thanks for that. As we conclude the Prime edition that was inspired by the rich Indian heritage, where we want to thank you all really for making time to be with us. Dhanyavad, Shukriya, everything. I am Tom Mboya, wishing you a pleasant evening. Good night.
Namaste. I am Muchuma Odim. Our sign language expert tonight is Susan Thuku. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Saa hii ukidial *419# option 4 ama uingie kwa tushinde.com, hakuna probox. Jaribu.
Ni ukweli. Yaani nimeshaingia na ndio tunataka. Ya inaona iko ndani. Wanaongelea nini hao? Ni shamba. Na sio moja, sio mbili, shamba 3 hapa Juja. Very nice. Na ni area moja development na growth iko promising sana. Stima ndani. Hiyo maji inapatikana. Wow. Security iko sawa na all basic amenities zinapatikana. Shamba ni 3 na kuingia kwa draw ili kujishindia moja kati ya shamba hizi 3 ni 35 bob pekee. Na mtu akitaka zote 3 iko special ticket ya kuweza kujishindia shamba zote 3 kwa tikiti moja ya 99 bob pekee. Hata hiyo na barabara ni nywe mpaka kwa ploti yako na kila ploti